Reception at TANL. I want to first start by thanking Summer Aldridge, wherever she is. She doesn't like this about life, but Summer has done a wonderful job of putting today's celebrations, everything from our social media posts to having Pearl over in the Winchester Center for people to take pictures, and just really making this an all-day celebration. So I just want to thank Summer for leading those efforts. So now it's my job to introduce our wonderful MC and hostess. So we have Angel Ballard Welsh from the class of 2003. She is a Panther soccer and cheerleading alumni. She's a wife and mom, former radio personality for WBKR, and now the founder and executive director of My Sister's Keeper, which is a woman and children's emergency homeless shelter here in Owensboro. She's also the co-owner of Gifted Thrift, a new thrift store coming to Owensboro that provides a volunteer workforce skills program for clients in nonprofit organizations and the court system to gain needed work skills for resumes. She has endured trials and unthinkable loss, but continues to live a life of positivity, love, and service. And I'll tell you, Angel lights up any room that she's in, so y'all want her up here, not me. So welcome, Angel.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm just praying that I get up these steps and don't trip, because while I played soccer and cheered, I am not graceful, not even a little bit. So welcome, y'all and ladies. I love watching everybody come through the doors today, just to see you guys in all your pink. And I was looking at your purse. I like that. So it's very cute. Yes, I noticed things. So this is super exciting. Women in sports, so amazing, and we have some awesome panelists up here today. I know almost each and every one of you are connected. Diana, I was like, I know her, but I don't don't know her well, but the rest of you all I'm like super connected to, so I was super excited about that. And what we're going to do is just introduce each one of you all. You can wave, you can do a little dance, whatever you want to do. Paige, I know, just knowing you won't do that. So, Paige Kramer, Chris, Panther soccer alumna, who was a standout player. Yes, she was, both on the field and the classroom. She was named as a first-team academic All-American. Her junior year, named to the GMAC, was inducted into the Order of Oak and Ivy and served as president of the Student Government Association. Today, she teaches 4th grade at Highland Elementary School and coaches soccer at Davis County High School through Owensboro United as well, which is U18, and then she's married to her husband, Zach, and they have adorable 2-year-old future Panther, Carly June. Paige Kramer. Oh my gosh. Chris, I want to just call you Kramer. She also worked for me too, so that's always like, yes, oh my goodness. Next to me, also former partner in crime, we played EGAL soccer together at Apollo High School and have been friends since, close to 30 years. 30 plus years, Laurel Beatty Murphy, and these girls getting married is super confusing to me, even though my name's changed too. She was a member of the very first girls soccer team, 2 regional championship basketball teams for Apollo High School, and the starting catcher for the 1995 state softball championship. So awesome at Apollo, and the first and only state championship in any sport still today there. She graduated from Western Kentucky University. She was a 2nd-team All-American at the 1990 National Flag Football Tournament. After WKU, she became a quarterback for the Nashville Dream in the first season of the then WFL. She also played 2 years for the Evansville Express. Laurel has coached girls basketball for many years, and most recently Apollo High School, and was able to celebrate another regional championship in 2021. Laurel was the first female football official to call a 3rd round playoff game in the state of Kentucky. She has officiated girls and boys varsity soccer games, as well as women's junior college and men's ABA. Today, Laurel teaches physical education at Burns Middle School right here in Owensboro and is the assistant athletic director. She married her husband, Ryan, has 3 bonus sons and 3 bonus grandsons, and she is a major advocate for Alzheimer's in memory of her mama. So, and Miss Jamie Bonner Ford, hello, is a volleyball alumna who is, has used her experience as a student athlete to fuel career in sports. After graduating from Kentucky Wesleyan College, Jamie earned her master's degree in kinesiology and exercise science from Western Kentucky University, and has been an athletic trainer since 1995 and a volleyball official in high school, club, and college since 1999. Jamie started the first KHSAA high school volleyball program in Western Kentucky in 1994 and was the Kentucky Wesleyan volleyball coach and assistant athletic trainer in 1997 and 98. She graduated of Leadership Owensboro and the past board member of the Audubon Area Volleyball Association and Pioneer Regional USA Volleyball. She is currently a trainer at Progressive Health and Rehabilitation here and the owner and creative director of Knotheads Custom Engraving, LLC. She serves, you are so awesome, as a board member for the Region 3 volleyball officials and is happily married to her husband, Robert, a retired firefighter, and is my backdoor neighbor. Yes, I'm so sorry. I apologize for that. Diana Chalfont was a 3-sport athlete who played softball, volleyball, and basketball for the Panthers. Get it, girl. She was named the Great Lakes Valley Conference Player of the Year in 1986 and was indicted. I'm gonna dig up some secrets here today, too, ladies. Don't you worry. She was inducted into the KWC and leave it to me. Athletic Hall of Fame in 2014 for softball. She is starting her 17th year as the volleyball assigner for Middle Tennessee Volleyball Association. Bet they didn't know that about you. She recently retired from FedEx after 26 years and is happily married to her wife. Is it Raina? Renee. Okay, I've never seen it spelled that way. Welcome, ladies. Let's give them a good welcome. get comfortable. You just have to know a little bit about me. You never know what I'm going to say. If I mess up, I own it, and things like that may happen. So we're going to just make this afternoon fun. You all, I think it's super amazing that you're athletes. It takes a lot to be an athlete in college and to get your education. So you all deserve a round of applause right now. So give yourselves a round of applause. So I'm going to ask each one of you guys, of course, this first question, and so that you guys, and you can just go down the line if you want, and then when we ask the next question, you just come back this way. So Paige, tell us a little bit about yourself. How'd you get into sports? And then are you still involved, which of course we know you're still involved with sports, but just tell us a little bit more about that and how you got to be a part of sports.
So I grew up, just sports have always been a part of my life. I had a really cool experience where my dad has worked at Kentucky Wesleyan since the time I was born. So we grew up watching everything. We were at the national championship games in 99, 2001. But we didn't just come to the big traditional sports that won national championships. We were at the volleyball games. We were at the soccer games. Sports were just a part of my life. My older brother played sports, so I think naturally, when it was time for me, I played sports too, because that's just what we did. I've always loved sports. It's always been something, some of my best friendships growing up came through sports. So I played soccer, softball, and basketball growing up, and then in high school, I narrowed that down to basketball and soccer, and kind of found out that soccer was my thing. So stuck with that in college, had a really great experience here playing for Jamie Duvall. Some of my closest high school friends played here as well. And then now I get to coach at Davis County High School. So where I went to high school, I get to coach and be a part of that program. It's really fun to watch it from the other side. And then my husband and I are about to make our U4 coaching debut this spring. We're coaching rec soccer, so that's going to continue to be a part of our life for a long time, I think.
We will be praying for you.
Yeah, we'll see how that is.
Laurel?
I guess I started kind of like Paige, probably and everybody up here, we just played sports. That's just what we did. I started playing kickball in the backyard from a really early age, and then I played baseball at 6, and then softball I moved up the ranks, and then basketball in 4th grade. 4th and 5th grade I was on a dribble team, and then 6th grade was the first year I ever played organized basketball. And then started playing soccer with Angel in 10th grade. I was in 10th grade.
Yeah, I was freshman.
And then when I got to college, like all these other people up here played college sports. I never played sports in college. Went to WKU. They have an amazing intramural program, so I started playing flag football there. And after I played flag football there, we saw a tryout for a women's professional team in Nashville, so we decided to try that out. And then today I'm still involved with sports. I've been an official, I've been a coach, and yeah, that's it.
One thing that's really cool about Laurel is, so I have 5 kiddos, and a couple of my boys have played football out at Wayman Morris here, and she is the only female that officiates, and she holds her own on the field. It's pretty cool to watch and see, even with mouthy 8, 9, and 10-year-olds, most of those are mine. But yeah, so it's just pretty awesome to see that and just to have watched her journey. It's Diana.
Do we have a mic over here, girl?
You can have mine.
Here you go. I can take Laura's. Thank you. Hello, everybody. Can I ask what sports, what are y'all playing? Who we got in here today? Volleyball people? Soccer? Basketball? No basketball?
They practice.
Oh, they're playing? Okay. What else do we have? What do you got? Cheer, okay. Roy? Oh, you're not in that. What else we got? Any football? Football guy back there. Anything else? Miss something? Track and field. Track and field. Awesome, awesome. Well, my journey started in Columbus, Georgia. My dad was in the military, Fort Benning. So I played baseball, 10 years old. We moved to Owensboro, Kentucky, and they didn't have baseball for girls, so I had to start playing slow pitch softball. I couldn't hit the ball. My coach was trying to teach me how to get this ball coming in like this. I was used to it coming in like this. So it was a real struggle for me. Got into softball, got better, went to middle school. We were on the first basketball at Davis County Middle School team for Title IX, 1976. That began. So I started playing basketball, took to that pretty well. Went to Davis County High School. Basketball was coached by Coach Llewellyn. I don't know if anybody remembers her from that time. And then Coach Duke, Jim Duke, took over. He got a scholarship offer from Wesleyan for me. Took a basketball, softball scholarship here, and loved it. And my sophomore year, I started playing volleyball. I'd never seen volleyball. We didn't have volleyball in 1982. So that was a transition for me to learn that. And then our softball became fast pitch, and that was a transition year. So it was a heck of a year for us here. We went fast pitch and softball. Any of you guys ever played slow pitch softball? It's hard going from one to the other. So we were all struggling, but it was a great career for me. Glad to be here. Jamie?
I am Jamie Ford. I am class of 1992, and I transferred in from Wright State University, which was a member of the GLVC at the time that I last attended, and they left the year that I came in. Got to meet Roy and got to be harassed about that plenty for the whole remainder of my time here. So I came in. The volleyball team was not large. There were 7 people on the roster, so when I came in the fall, I made number 8. It was not hugely supported by the campus at that time. Our warm-ups were hand-me-downs from the women's basketball team. Do you remember that? Getting gym time was a struggle. The gym was a newer gym, but it was the first time I told Roy I experienced shin splints because I didn't think they asked anybody about the specs on that before they put the floor down. So now we've got a different floor, so you guys should be in better shape. I came in as a psychology major with a French minor, of all strange things. I switched twice and ended up in physical education because what I really wanted was to be an athletic trainer, and I didn't know what athletic training was. I didn't know how that was different from physical therapy, but I knew I wanted to be around sports. My introduction to sports came through my older brother and my dad, also military. I was an Air Force brat, and when my dad was stationed in Wichita, my brother was my best friend, which happens a lot with military kids because you don't get to hold on to your friends very long when you're moving and they're moving. So he let me tag along, and I played baseball and football and soccer. I was on an all-boys soccer team until I pulled some of my Girl Scout troop on with me. And the boys weren't crazy about that, but they dealt with it because we weren't that bad. we were physical girls. We loved getting dirty. We loved playing in the mud and the rain. Transferred to Ohio, and they were just starting girls soccer at the rec level then, and I discovered volleyball. A lot less running in volleyball. You play indoors. You could smash the heck out of the ball. It was cathartic. Soccer, you may or may not get a lot of contacts on the ball. In volleyball, serving the ball, hitting the ball. I was taller. I was like, yes, this is a sport for me. So I continued with that from the time I was 11 years old. Played all the way through high school until my senior year. So I did not play volleyball my senior year because one thing a lot of people don't know about me right off the bat is that I love music. I love to sing. My first career choice was to be a jockey. That was kind of off the table by the time I finished 2nd grade. But I wanted to be a country singer. So I was heavily involved with music. I was a choir kid, and I had a lot of other interests, but I always loved volleyball. And when I came here and got on the team and found out that there was no high school volleyball in this area, I was stunned. Because literally, it's like one of the cheapest sports that you could run. So I played, I went to graduate school, I can't remember what it's called, they have it was a new building, and it's not now because that's been 25 years plus ago. But the new student athletic facility, I stayed with my graduate classes. I played before, and I played after. I didn't get home until 11 o'clock at night because I was playing volleyball for hours on end. And then I was coming back here to finish up hours for athletic training. So as an athletic trainer, you know, I covered football, soccer, softball, baseball, volleyball, everything. And traveled with the basketball team. Got married my junior year and still was traveling with the basketball team. So you guys can pity my husband for all of that. But it was a good experience. I think that's about it for that point.
Okay, so the next, I love that you guys got to all explain that because it's far beyond what your bios are, and it's good for these young ladies and gentlemen to know that. So why do you all, and anyone can answer this, I'm not sure who has the mic now, Jamie, you're in luck. Why do you think it's so important that we celebrate National Girl and Women in Sports Day?
I think one of the big things is I sit here and listen to like some of the barriers that you all faced in your experience. Is I think it's important to celebrate this because I didn't have to face as many of those barriers, and I think it's important to recognize some of the trailblazers who were the first ones to push some of those barriers down. The people before me made it easier for me, and I hope to do the same for those that come behind me. So I think it's just really important to recognize that what we do now wasn't always like that. You know, it's changed a lot, and it's because people were willing to step up and break down those walls for us.
So, did any of you guys see the Quonset hut that used to be on campus? Everybody? Okay, well, that's where we started playing volleyball. For those of you that play now, the ceiling's about 15 feet high. It was a horrible experience. We had a gentleman by the name of Coach Mack, and he was our coach, and we would get in there, and the balls just went off the side all the time. And now as an adult, I look at that and I think back to that experience. It was horrible, horrible.
And what Paige touched on, and Paige played upward basketball and rec soccer with my kids. So, we really did come into girls and women's sports when Title IX was basically in its infancy, and even up through our high school and college years, there were many times it felt like there was just kind of a wink and a nod toward that. We did have a lot of support. I know that Roy gave us just as much attention, you know, as he gave the boys. He was at our matches. He harassed us as much as anyone else we were seen. We were definitely seen. And, you know, when I look at what opportunities there are out there now, I'm a little bit envious because I did have to fight for times. My dad had to put trash cans in front of locker room doors at our base gym so that I could have access to a weight room. Our high school did not give us access to a weight room. We had the crummy little Nautilus machine that half the things didn't work on it. I had to walk to school and have the custodian open the closet so I could get a ball out to practice on my own because we were not given the time and resources to even have any kind of summer training or conditioning or anything. So to be able to kind of push that ceiling up and make opportunities for you all, for our kids, I think it brings everybody up. It brings the level of competition up.
I think this day is important to celebrate, and because female athletes deserve to be celebrated and recognized.
Yeah.
But I feel like if we all continue to break these barriers down, the barriers that were broken down for Paige, and then now Paige is breaking barriers for you all, and you all will break barriers for them, that maybe we won't even have to have this day. you know, why, we don't have to have a day to celebrate female athletes when we can just be athletes with everyone else. So.
Love that.
Yeah, it's great.
I love that so much. Okay, so what role has your experience as a female athlete played in career in your life in general?
So I was a FedEx driver for 26 years, and athletes make good FedEx UPS drivers. The job is about puzzle pieces. You know, you got packages in your truck, and you got to figure out what's the best route. Well, as an athlete, you learn those skills without even understanding you're learning them. It's just on the fly. You're being taught that. So that was, for me, it carried over into my career that way. Yep.
I would say for me, it's carried over because being an athlete, you learn discipline and how to be independent and how to work and do things on your own, competitiveness. It's carried over for me because I still, to this day, I teach PE, so I'm doing sports every single day at work. And coaching, I've coached basketball, I've coached softball, and then I've also been an official, so which is, you know, being involved with sports, about becoming an official, it keeps me in the game without having to actually play the game.
I'm a teacher. I teach 4th grade, and just like any career, I feel like it's you know, a field that's always changing. There's always new stuff coming along, and I think one of the biggest things that I learned as an athlete is how to be coachable. And you know, in my job, I don't feel like I take it personally if someone gives me advice or tells me how I can be better. I feel like I welcome that, and I think that that's something I learned, obviously, from being coached on the field. It's just recognizing that you can always improve no matter how well you're doing at something. There's always room for improvement. And hearing the feedback of others and welcoming that is going to help you, and I think it's helped me in my career.
I definitely agree with that, being a little bit more thick-skinned in many regards, and being able to look at a situation more objectively and again improve, do your best all the time. I don't think I've ever really stopped. I think even if I hadn't continued in my sport, just the opportunity to be active that is our extended warranty, so don't stop being active. I haven't honestly played volleyball for about 5 or 6 years because I was hot dogging it with one of the college teams I was taking care of for the labor in my shoulder. But I've been refereeing, like I said, for 25 years, and I really enjoy that. I found out I did not enjoy coaching as much, so I have a lot of respect for coaches and the struggles that they do have. But, you know, I watch very closely how coaches and other referees communicate with athletes, because the last thing I would ever want is to see somebody's joy in the sport destroyed by an adult. So I think being able to be an athletic trainer where I'm in a situation where, again, I get to see the sports, and I love sports. So I also got to work with secondary school athletes, so went from college to that setting, wasn't sure I would like it, loved it. It was really interesting to be an adult in a situation where I had no authority and respect to, I was not their parent, I wasn't their coach, I was not a disciplinarian, I wasn't their teacher. I was an adult who cared, and I cared about their experience and their well-being in that setting. And just being able to listen to their concerns and try to relate to them as an athlete and as an adult who just cared about them being in their sport as long as they were enjoying it, that was the biggest thing for me.
I don't know where Summer is. Summer, am I allowed to cheat and answer a question? Okay, good, because I was going to anyway. So I was thinking about you all answering, and for me, in my life, so I moved around 13 times before I hit high school, and I was not an Army brat, or I lived with a single mom, and so when I finally settled because beyond soccer, I danced and ran track, played softball, and the people that I played those sports with became my family because I just had my mom. And so, like, I know Laurel can attest to this. We have known each other since we were, 13, 14, 15 years old. We still, as a team, get together at each other's houses yearly, 2 or 3 times a year, to swim, to celebrate Christmas. We are at each other's weddings. Unfortunately, we're at each other's parents' funerals. We're a family, and we take care of one another, and that's, and I still have that same contact with a lot of the women that I played with here, right at Wesleyan, and it's helped me in the things in like my life, and then in my career, just opening my Sister's Keeper. I think most athletes are leveled up, not just in their discipline, but in their minds. So you can push yourself a little bit harder than a lot of people that maybe aren't in sports, aren't in sports, and so you are used to having to go that extra step or do something that you might not have thought you could do. And for me, there were days that I was like, I don't know if I can do this, and then the mentality of being an athlete kicked in, and I'm like, I gotta go 18 more steps. Like, I've got to get there. And so that's essentially helped me to be the person that I am, because you do switch your mind, because there is that discipline there. That is, I hope that I'm allowed to say this. There's a news guy back there. But when I played soccer here at Wesleyan, we had something called Hell Week. Do y'all have that? Yeah, they're like, yeah, we do. And it was 7 straight days of literal, like, just puke and go. Like, but it was in a good sense. Like, it was, it wasn't, the coaches weren't making us that. It was, we were just pushing our bodies to the limits so that we could essentially level up, so that we could be the best athlete that we could. And that has literally helped me to be the adult that I am today, to push myself to the limits and beyond that, because it's so easy to be like, I give up, and our bodies can do so much more than we even allow them to. So, okay, ladies, why do you feel female participation in sports is so important?
Can we go back and forth?
Oh, no. Like thinking I would go down the line and I tricked them. Well, yes, I would, just for you, Diana, I will do that. I see you're going to be the problem panelist. If you could tell your younger self, y'all need to be prepared, I'm going to ask him out of order, but you could tell your younger self something you know now, what would it be? Don't ask Diana questions. No, I'm joking.
Give me that. So this is really from my heart, guys. This is the time of your life. Enjoy it. There's not a day that I don't wish I could go back and play softball or volleyball here on campus. It was a wonderful time. So truly embrace the moment. These 4 years or 5 years, for me, they're the best time of your life. Oh,
Recorded.
no.
For me, because I have a lot of interests, I still have a lot of hobbies that my husband is just dying for me to just pick one. Sports are fantastic, but they're not everything. Pursue the interests. For me, I wish that I would have dedicated equal amounts of time and attention to music. Because right now my feet hurt. I don't jump. Things, do hurt. It is the extended warranty, but there are some things that maybe I should have taken better care of. And there, you don't get that time back. Enjoy it while you have it. Enjoy your experience. Enjoy the camaraderie that you develop. Enjoy that discipline, because there are things that get in the way of that, and you try to hold on to it, and it just, it will frustrate you. One of the things that I loved about coming to Kentucky Wesleyan and the liberal arts experience is that I loved my classroom time. Some of you may not love your classroom time. I loved my classroom time. I had some wonderful professors. Some of them aren't with us anymore.
but just really appreciate the opportunities that you have that are not sports related. Use that same discipline and the things that you learn and let that carry into other areas of your life.
Mine's pretty much reiterate what they're saying, enjoy it. And take care of yourself, take care of your body. Learn to enjoy running. I wish that I had learned to enjoy being a runner. I don't like it. I still don't like it. I ran because I was playing sports. I ran because I was getting up and down the basketball field or basketball court or the football field. But now that those things aren't an option, I would like to just be able to go out and run. And a knee replacement, total knee replacement later, and bad feet, and 50 pounds, all of that. Enjoy what you do, enjoy it now, and learn to take care of yourself. Like what Diana said, this is the best time. And it's a very rude awakening when you wake up one day and your mind says you're an athlete, but your body says, no, you're not. Not anymore. So take care of yourself.
I agree with what everyone else has said. If I could tell myself something, I would say, don't take things so seriously. I worked hard and I had some success because of that. But when I look back on my memories playing soccer and even basketball, yes, there were some games that I remember that stand out, but most of my memories are the things that were off the field. I remember the bus trips. I remember the friendships that I formed. So work hard. Take it seriously, but not too seriously. Enjoy it, like they've said. You only get so many years to do it, and these are the memories that you're going to look back and wish you could have a few more of.
Back to what Laurel said, so your body definitely changes. I was at a Vanilla Ice. Y'all probably don't even know who that is. Does anybody know who Vanilla Ice, Ice Ice Baby? There we go. So like two of you. Thank you for that. I'm really old. I was at a concert in the Beaver Dam last summer, and I went to do something on the dance floor, and my niece said no, and my husband had to carry me off the floor. And then in his true form said, do you need some Ice Ice Baby? And I told him he was sleeping on the couch that night. And it took me 6 weeks to recover that knee. So just enjoy it while you got it. Okay, ladies, why do you feel that female participation in sports is so important?
I think we've talked about a lot of this. I feel like you learn how to have a healthy lifestyle, exercise, and just understanding that being active is important. I also think just confidence. I feel like a lot of my confidence that I have in life I developed on the soccer field. That was my place where I could come out of my shell and I could be comfortable, and I felt good in my ability, and I knew that I was able to compete. So I think just those kinds of life skills, you can teach things in the classroom, but you can't teach stuff like that in other situations.
Yeah, develop lifelong friendships. That's one of the reasons why it's important to do ED. Discipline, self-esteem, all those things that we've touched on. I don't know if you all remember, back in the 90s, early 90s, maybe late 90s, Nike had a commercial, and it was girls, and the whole commercial was, if you let me play sports. And they listed all of these things that would happen if you let me play sports. And they were like, I will like myself more. More likely to leave an abusive relationship, suffer less depression, all of those kind of things if you let me play sports. So I think that playing sports from an early age is very important.
Wrote down a couple of things. Sports change lives, empowers women, gives us confidence, develops teamwork, self-reliance, definitely leadership skills are learned there, a lot of self-esteem, and social connection. And the last thing I want to say is sports, and I'm coming from a signer's position on this, sports allow a student to be a kid for 2 hours or however long a volleyball match or a soccer game is. They can leave all those stresses at home. You don't know what kids are going through, what you guys are, but we don't know what y'all are going through. But for those 2 hours, they can just concentrate on whatever sport they're playing. And that is a really wonderful gift to give.
I agree with everybody up here. It's amazing. I think participation in sports in general is important for people to know where their limits aren't, to know that it's okay to be uncomfortable, to know that that's not the end of things just because something hurts a little bit, because we go through a lot of hurts, and it changes our brain chemistry. It changes how we look at problem solving in general, and that strengthens us overall. I think it makes us better people. Sometimes in sports, especially from a ref standpoint, we see people not at their best, but having that outlet, it's very cathartic, and overall, I think it strengthens us.
Okay, were there any role models, significant influences that inspired you all that you'd like to tell us about in your sport career or just in your careers?
Not a lot, because women's sports, when I was growing up, they weren't on TV.
Right.
You didn't see anybody play, any female play anything. Mostly I looked up to people in my neighborhood or people that were playing in the same leagues as I played in that were older than me. Maybe they were coming in to play a softball game after us, or maybe it was somebody that I knew that played high school basketball from my neighborhood. Those are the people that I looked up to, because we didn't have the Caitlin Clarks and the Angel Reeses and the Jenny Finches, the Alex Morgans. We didn't have those people that were being publicized. They were there. They were there. We just didn't know it because we didn't have social media like that, and we also didn't have women's sports on TV. So Dawn Staley is still a huge influence for me. I love her. She's one of my favorites. Sarah Thomas, first female referee a Super Bowl game. Very inspirational, that stuff that you wouldn't have seen before. And I'm still they're able to be my role models now, but growing up, we didn't have those.
So I feel like I was a part of one of the first generations that did have some female role models. I was 6 years old when the 99ers, the Women's World Cup team, won. Brandy Chastain hit the winning penalty kick. I had posters on my wall of Mia Hamm, Brandy Chastain, all of them. So I did have some athletes who I was able to look up to. I also feel like my family did a really good job of recognizing women's sports. Sorry, that's my daughter. But I don't really remember thinking there was too much of a difference between men's and women's sports. Like, we were excited about Michael Jordan and we watched NBA, MLB, but we also were equally excited for Serena and Venus when Wimbledon came on. We watched Mia Hamm. My dad took me to Knoxville to watch Pat Summitt coach. So I had those opportunities, and I think because of that, I wanted to be like those people. And I'm happy to see that younger girls today do have more of those role models. And like you said, social media, they're more present, I think, and I hope that will continue.
All right. Okay, so in case someone in the audience is considering quitting their sport or giving up, what would you all advise them?
Don't do it. I mean, don't quit. A lot of times these days people are quitting because they're not the best on the team, or they're not scoring the most points, or they're not getting the most playing time. But being a part of that team is still teaching you the discipline and the self-esteem and all of that, even if you're not the star player. A lot of times today, that's what everybody thinks. We're only playing sports for scholarships. And I feel like a lot of times people are not playing sports anymore just to have fun. You don't have to be playing a sport, especially in high school, or to be getting a scholarship. You might just want to be on the team, want to be there to have fun. I didn't get a scholarship. I played 3 sports in high school. We were good. I was good. But chose to go a different path. And then when I got to college, started playing flag football, which is going to be a part of the Olympics this year. So I'm really excited about that. But I mean, don't quit. Like we've said the whole time up here, this is the best time of your life. Don't do it.
Well, I have just again slightly different perspective on this because again, as an athletic trainer, I heard everything and I saw a lot of things. And really, I would just want to know what about your sport is, why have you lost your satisfaction with it? Why have you lost your joy? Because it is possible to get to a certain level of accomplishment, and it's just not fun anymore. And ultimately, you should be playing your sport for the joy of it. You know, when anybody's doing anything that's new, it's hard, but you're still having fun. And like I said, I watch coaches and I watch interactions. Is it the team dynamic? You know, I just loathe when I see somebody destroy the love of the sport for a child, like I said. But sometimes there are just priorities that change, and that's all right. But you can't just stop. You can't stop because somebody else had an opinion about your sport or your participation in it, your level of achievement. Parents, you know, if a kid is having a good time and they're getting better, you know, don't kill that for them. Give them the opportunities that they have to continue. Don't steal their joy by having way too many opinions on how much playing time they should get. Because parents care a lot more than the kids do. So really, I would just want to know what the root of it is. And there are times that, you know, it's time to just kind of curb that a little bit, but you have to fill it with something. And that's where you really need to determine what your motivation is for it.
Okay, ladies, what barriers do you see affecting women in the workplace, and then how do you propose that we overcome those? Not everybody all at once.
I don't know if this counts as a barrier, but I think something that's hard that I've learned in the past couple of years is how difficult it is to balance being a mom and working. I think society expects us to be excellent at both of those things and not have any slack in either area. And I think that's a really hard thing. I think, you know, it's something that, I mean, I know I put that pressure on myself as well. So I do it to myself a little bit, but something that I, you know, see as a teacher is that sometimes I have to choose going home to my family and sacrificing an opportunity at work because my family is my priority at this stage. So I don't really know what the solution to that is, but I do think as women, you know, I think that struggle is a little more present than it might be for men.
I would say some of the barriers that women face is tradition. You know, the quote-unquote good old boys club sometimes, where females don't get the jobs because they're not part of that club. They, I don't know how else to say that without being rude, but I feel like many women are starting to break down those barriers, and they're just going to have to keep pushing forward in order to do that.
Basically what she's saying is don't be afraid to kick in the door and say you want the job or you deserve the job or that you're qualified for that job, period. And like to add to what Paige is saying is like so many employers do, it, you know, for me it was in a lot of my jobs, they wanted so much from me and didn't realize that I was a mom too. I mean, they knew I was a mom. But it opened my eyes so much more when COVID hit and we were all grounded to the houses. I still went into work when I was working for the radio station across the street. And that opened a huge door because there were so many people that were at home working. And so when we were brought back and they were like, oh, well, you really can't, we need you here. And I'm like, you didn't need me here for a year and a half. I can still do the exact same things, and still take care of my family the way that I needed to, and still provide the same services that I needed to for my job. So it's a huge thing for yourself. One of the best pieces of advice that I can give you guys is don't be afraid to advocate for yourself, and don't back down from that. Because the people that need you and really want you will work with you and know that you're worth it. And if they don't realize that, it may not be the place that you need to be, period. Because there are plenty of places that will take somebody that does a good job, is showing up, and does want to work. And let's all be honest, there are a lot of people right now that do not want to work. And these places need people. So make sure to always advocate for you and to know what you bring to the table. And a lot of times some of us are bringing the table to the table. So just make sure that you know that as well.
I'm going to keep pushing off of what Laurel said. Yes, the Good Old Boys Network is weakening, but it is still there. I am the first female that's been on a referees association on the board, and this is my sport, and it's still dominated by males, and they did not play volleyball. So I always ask myself, why is this the case? And there are times that new referees come in, and I'm sorry, I'm going to say it, they try to mansplain volleyball to me. And I flat out tell them, no, you have not earned that. I've been discriminated against in my job. Early on in my career, I was also a certified strength and conditioning specialist. I had the same credentialing as the guy that was working with the football team. Could I get any acknowledgement that the information that I was giving them was just as valuable as the information, that it was the exact same information? But they would not listen to it coming out of a woman's mouth. That is changing. There are a lot more settings that women can bring their experiences to. I was told once by one of our region's very large employers that because I had small children at home, that I couldn't be relied upon to be flexible enough with my schedule. My husband was a firefighter. That was told to me by another woman. So not only advocate for yourself, but advocate for your female coworkers and your acquaintances, because elevating other women does not take anything away from you. Okay, it's not a competition so much when you get out there. Even if, I probably earned this position, but sometimes that's a blessing if you just keep using everything that you've been through to elevate other women in their roles as well, because we can help each other out.
And to kind of piggyback off that, I'm a football official. That in itself is something that I've had to fight for, and I always have to, it seems like I have to explain myself more when I make a call or something along those lines, because they don't think I know what I'm talking about. Or have to listen to coaches refer to me as sweetheart, how'd you make that call? Or honey, what, and I always usually say to them, are you calling my partners sweetheart and honey? These males that I'm working with, are they also sweetheart and honey? Because if they're not, then I'm not either. So those are the barriers that we are still trying to break down by getting into other things or getting into male-dominated areas, that we're still trying to fight for things like that as well.
Okay, ladies, I do see some guys out there. Hi, guys in the back. Hey. All right, so what advice do you have for the males in the audience about how to best support women in sports? What about women in the workplace? Is that the same?
Take them seriously as athletes. These ladies are in the weight room and in the practice field or on the court or wherever, working just as hard as you are. So take them seriously as athletes, and maybe we won't have to call them women's athletes anymore. They're just going to be athletes like everybody else.
I was just gonna say, watch women's sports and appreciate when you see an athlete do something impressive, whether they're male or female. We've got like Caitlin Clark right now is really fun to watch, doing really impressive things. We've got Simone Biles who's doing these things that other athletes have never even thought about doing. So just recognize that what these women are doing is impressive and appreciate that. Right, not impressive for a girl, just impressive for anyone.
And just support them, like, especially if you're dating them, when you get married, just support what they're doing and encourage that and show up to whatever it is that they're doing. Don't be threatened by it. Because all it is it's teaching them about life and all the things that we've talked about up here. Just be a supportive friend or partner to your girlfriend or your best friend that's in the sport or that's doing something. It's huge because as women, and I know men too, because I have 3 boys at home, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves already. So to have someone from the outside doing that, there's already a lot of pressure on us. So just to have that one person that's like, I'm there, or you're doing awesome, or you got this, is huge. Okay. Questions from the audience, right, Summer? Am I asking? Okay, does anybody in the audience, am I like running out to the audience, or are they coming up here? Okay.
I think you should run.
You think that's the outtribble? Okay. Does anyone in the audience have questions for the ladies? Come on. Or I'll call y'all out. And I will. Any questions at all? Anything? Any curiosity?
I guess you guys covered it all.
You get a cookie, an extra cookie if you ask a question. Or you can give it to me. Ladies, you all have done an amazing job. Thank you so much to have the opportunity just to be up here, Summer. Thank you. Roy, thank you for giving me crap as soon as I walked in the door. I'm sure he does that to you all too. But just to wrap up what we already said, please enjoy the time that you have. I look back literally and think of the time that I had here at Wesleyan. I was sharing with Roy, I was literally hypnotized up on this stage when I was in college with my whole soccer team. And I still remember that. I'll be 44 years old next month. And, I still remember that I was 19 years old, just here and enjoying life. And some of those players that I played with are now supporting me in the job I'm doing at the shelter. It's really cool to see that. So, just the things that are, it's just the families that you build and the support that you build. Just take hold of that and take it with you and just enjoy the life that you've been given and just push yourself. And we're so proud of you, really. So thank you guys today for coming and being a part of this. And go Panthers.
Thank you all for being here. Let's just give a hand to our moderators.